from this area, because we can see aggressive sellers have failed, right? Now that aggressive sellers have failed, we can also pair this with our basic knowledge of power of three, right? Notice how the 10 a.m. Eastern is up here. And we know that we should be buying at a key level below the 10 a.m. Eastern. But what gives us our confirmation, and I can't stress this enough, is the candles you see over here, right? We see aggressive sellers, aggressive sellers. We also see aggressive sellers down here as well. We see 48 for 18 and we see 8 for 0. So we see more bid volume than ask volume, which is important to understand, which means that sellers are failing. Aggressive sellers are failing, which means passive buyers are propping up in this region. This means passive buyers are propping up in this region. So what does a demand zone or a bullish order block actually mean, right? So for this to be a bullish order block, what that means is that there's more passive buyers than aggressive sellers. So we've seen aggressive sellers fail below the 10 a.m. Eastern. This is an A+ setup. Now from here, we can begin to look for longs, right? So let's break down my setup one more time, right? So we can see here on the 1 minute time frame, let's go down to the 1 minute time frame and let's kind of replay price. So what we've seen so far from the 5 minute time frame is we've seen aggressive sellers fail here. We've seen aggressive sellers fail here. We are also below the 10 a.m. Eastern. Again, we're at a 15-minute fair value gap. Now from here, we can understand we're looking for buys, right? So once you understand where sellers have failed, it's pretty simple. You can just simply put on a buy trade because you know your stop loss is going to be safe. And the reason your stop loss is safe in this area is because sellers have failed. So I always put my stop loss where I know sellers have failed. Again, how do I know sellers have failed? Well, the reason I know sellers have failed here is because of the order flow. So the order flow tells me a few things, right? It tells me the volume has dried up and it tells me sellers have failed, right? 107 sellers were here, 223 for 60 was here. It's showing us that the level itself is strong, right? We also have a further rejection down here at 48.18. So you can comfortably keep your stop loss at this level because you know sellers have failed. So this would be an area I want to keep my stop loss. Now from here, the next question becomes targets, right? Where do you target as a trader, right? Good question. So I simply like to target high of day, right? So our high of day was all the way here in London. This is going to be high of day over here. So let's kind of draw this out, right? This here is high of day. So once you have the high of day in place, right, it becomes very simple to trade. From here, you just simply target your high of day, and this trade obviously played out massively in our favor. Right, so what separates the winning traders and the losing traders is using the order flow, right? So catching these trades looks easy, and it is easy, but the reason you don't is because you neglect the most obvious part of the market, right? So I'm just going to put these two charts next to each other, face to face or next to each other, so you can really look at it with your own eyes. What you are looking for is you are looking for sellers to fail, right? So you are looking for sellers down here, which corresponds to this area over here, right? This is the reason the market's moved up in the first place. And so if you are struggling with order blocks or ICT or any of these concepts, it's because you're not applying the fundamental principles of buyers and sellers at key levels.